My name is Isaac, and though I can't be sure, I may just be the last living human being on planet Earth. Today I wandered through the mist-cloaked forest in search of answers, just as I have done almost every single day for the last long and lonely 3 years. The purpose of this log and subsequent logs is to chronicle life alone on this pale blue dot. But there is a greater purpose, the possibility that my brother, Jerry, may still be out there somewhere. But as I traverse the endless fields and endless barren wastes of nothingness, I fail consistently to locate him. So, if there is anybody out there and they're watching and listening to this, you'll probably already know what happened to the rest of humanity. But if there are people out there and they don't know what has happened, or are struggling to cope with the change, let me tell you about the event. The event, as I've taken to calling it, occurred in 2019. At least that was the year prior to all this. There was talk of war, nuclear weapons, biological weapons, and other warfare, technology of a more exotic nature, bots and artificial intelligence. Nothing more than the usual doomsday talk, you know. Several leading nations commented publicly on these technological developments, and then people, including my friends and family members, began to disappear. The conspiracy theorists were the first to pick up on this. Folks from small towns and remote villages were the first to go. And the internet was the first to know. Then it started happening in the big cities: London, Paris, New York, Tokyo, Rio de Janeiro, Athens, Moscow, Cape Town, New Delhi, Beijing, Krakow, Oslo. The list goes on. Having witnessed firsthand the panic and hysteria, I had stopped going to work and pretty much barricaded myself into my apartment. The same apartment I'm talking to you from right now. One night, an October night if I recall correctly, I drifted off and slept for what felt like 1,000 years. When I awoke, everyone was gone. But not the birds, not the rats, not the insects, just the people. All the people. And so I searched for reasons, much as you have seen me search in this video presentation today, fruitlessly. For 3 years. 3 long years. And how do I know it has been 3 years? Well, I have access to computer systems. Occasionally my generator fails and I have to go out for petrol. Not a chore I'm particularly fond of, but I need access to these computer systems, the World Wide Web, active still after all this time. Is it the rumored artificial intelligence that keeps the internet alive? Who knows? All that I do know is that my access to the World Wide Web continues, and that the year is apparently 2022. On the screen before you, you are looking at a body of frozen water I discovered earlier today after the majority of the mist had cleared. And this is often how things appear now. The sun rarely shines, is rarely capable of penetrating the vast quantity of clouds. But I hope one day that it will clear and I will see unabashed blue skies once again. I would like to offer an observation to the imaginary characters out there listening to my wistful words. It is an observation on the subject of time. Before the event, my days rushed by in a blur. There was too little time to accomplish even the most mundane of tasks, and it wore me down. I didn't have time for my friends, for my family members. I didn't have time for anything. Too little time, I said. Too little time. But now, as I stare across the bleak landscape, with its frozen features, its desolate skies, and its dull, listless grass, there is nothing but time. The days roll on, almost endlessly, and all I can do now is sit and think, wonder and regret. Oh, how I regret the decisions I made before. All that fleeting time wasted. If my ultimate destiny is to live out my days in this abhorrent place, then I address the universe with a single request. Please tell me that my brother Jerry is alive and well, and that he, slowly but surely, is making his way across the vastness of this great continent, and will be home soon, so that he and I can sit here beside the frozen waters and contemplate the nature of reality for the rest of our days. And, universe, whilst you're being so very generous, I would like to request a partner. Even following the near extinction of this planet, a man can still dream, can't he? And so now I would like to ask you, the listener, a question, for if you are truly out there, I simply must know. My question is this: if you, like me, were the last living human being on planet Earth, and you were doomed to a fate such as mine, what would you do with your days? Where would you go? I would very much like to hear from somebody, anybody, for it is very, very, very lonely here on this empty, dried up planet. But there is still beauty here, beauty framed upon the screen before you, the beauty of a dying world. I suppose it is a sight not meant for human eyes, though it is fair to say the human imagination knows no bounds, and such a vision probably occurred in the minds of tens of millions of people long before the event. I think the time has come to sign off today and to return to my fruitless evening tasks. And as to whether or not I shall return with additional videos chronicling my strange journey through this dystopian wasteland, well, that is something I will have to think about. If there's anybody out there, I bid you farewell until we meet again. Goodbye.